Hey everyone, good morning. This is Mr. Jackson. I'm coming back to you with a second video because I spent 10 minutes recording a video with the volume turned off. I want to thanks to Annie Stone who alerted me that Mr. Jackson, your video is not talking. So I spent 10 minutes talking to a screen that was not recording. I mean, it was recording. I just wasn't recording my voice. So I'm going to recap what I said this morning to you all over again. Okay, but it's no big deal. I'll make it really painless. All right. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do before we get started, I want you to, you could open up the um, HyperDoc for this week. I see that some of you are already in here this morning, and go down to Friday and see the Google form down there. If you see that Google form, you go down to Friday, click on the Google form. You can actually take the pretest for this week's Civil War and see what you would have made. Now, if you've already read, now ask that you go into Edmentum first and start reading and learn about it first, then take it. Now, once you get done and you submit, you take the answers and you put the answers inside of Edmentum. Okay, so there. Once again, go to Friday, take the pretest, put the answers inside of Edmentum. I ask that you do read, and even if you don't want to read Edmentum, look here, go back up to Thursday. I put some cool articles and videos in there, some cool articles and videos on the Civil War battles, because this week is where we get into the nitty gritty of the actual battles that took place in the Civil War. All right, so just take a look at these articles and the videos, and then make a determination. Take a look at them and go from there. All right. So then the next thing also I want you to take a look at, just so you know, in Edmentum, you should be where it says, oh, the Civil War begins. The tutorial and the Civil War mastery test begin. You should have completed Sunday night the compromises and clashes before the Civil War, but this is where you should be today, where the Civil War begins. That's where you should be starting today with your HyperDoc. Also, one last thing before I move on, I want to show you something. Oh, did y'all see that? Hold on, let me go back. Did y'all see that? Was my screen? Oh, okay, yeah, my screen was down. Okay, I want you to see, this is what I'm going to, I've already put in the first grade, and this is what I'm putting in the second grade this week. Hopefully that by now you have caught on that I am grading these assignments and then putting the grade in. Some of you done an excellent job. Some of you, I need you to wake up. We're almost at the finish line. And so, but you still have time. Go ahead and do them. If you haven't done the first week, just email me and I'll open it up for you. And then the second week right there and so forth. Okay. So those are the four. So this is the third week. The Civil War begins. The mastery test that you're about to take now. That's the one I just showed you. That you could actually do the pretest on. Where did it go? Snap, crackle, pop, pop, pop. Where did it go? Oh, that's Twitter. That's not it. Oh, snap. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Right there. That's the one you can go and take Google Form. But all right. So do that. Take the test and put them in Edmentum so you can get a satisfactory grade and we can move on. All right. Now, real quickly before I get out of here, I just want you to know that this week you're going to be talking about the actual Civil War. Let me move down to some you can see. The first war battle is the Battle of Manassas, or depending on who you're talking to, some people call it the Battle of Bull Run. Now, the South, that would be Virginia. We call it the Battle of Bull Run because it was customary back then that the Confederate Army named all of their battles after various different landmarks. Like the Battle of Bull Run is a creek that runs, either creek or river, I think, that runs a creek that runs through Virginia. And by the way, Manassas is the name of the city that the northern, because they don't know all these little bit small creeks and landmarks down in the south, the northern troops named it after the actual city. And just so you know, Manassas is only about 35-40 minutes from Leesburg, not very far at all, or just right down the road. Nice little trip if your family ever wants to get out, and you can actually go tour this battlefield. Very beautiful battlefield. Can't believe that one time that's where the Civil War really begins. Outside of Fort Sumter, this is where the Civil War, the first battle, took place. Right here was in Manassas, Virginia, which is right down the road from you in Leesburg. down there, and they'll actually have tour guides that will give you a tour. I've actually had the privilege of touring those different landmarks, and it's beautiful. And what's so cool about this area is that when we had the war, people sat right here. Ladies dressed in their finest dress, and men were in a suit and tie, and they put a picnic basket, and they sat right out here on the field, and they were looking at the battle. Because back then, they only thought that this war was going to last one day. That was it. One day, both sides. The North thought we'll come down and squash this and get the the Confederate in line. And the Confederacy thought, you know what, the Union troops will whoop them butts because we know this area better than anybody, and we'll send them right back up north, and we can continue with the Confederate States of America and our way of life with slaves. Neither side was right. This war would last for 4 more years. And but they lasted right here. But it was just so interesting how people sat out there on the battlefield with their food, their picnic baskets, and their wine and cheese and crackers and what have you, and thinking that this was going to be a really quick war. All right, so that was the Battle of Manassas and Battle of Bull Run. You're going to also go on to learn about the battles of Vicksburg, the battles of Gettysburg, all of these different battles that you're going to learn about in the next few days here if you're reading. Now, the Battle of Vicksburg, as you can see, this was the control of the Mississippi River. But what's so cool, if you know, those aren't the standard ship that we normally used to seeing with the big sails on top. They're actually steamboats. And what's so cool about the Civil War, this is the first time technology becomes a big, huge factor in war. Up to this point, technology had not played a really big factor in many wars because we did not what we consider modern day factor. Like you now can see pictures of the war. The war, you could actually see the war, the devastation of war. Look at this, where these bodies are laid here. You can see them, and people were printed, particularly Abraham Lincoln. He was smart to use technology to his advantage because when people saw for the first time, it's one thing to hear about a dead body, it's another thing to see a dead body. And when Lincoln put these in the newspaper all up north, he actually got people to support him for the war. It was used as a rallying point. People now, they saw it and they were moved by it, like, oh my God, I see my uncle. Oh my God, I see my brother. Oh my God, I see my dad. They like now, they're like, okay, drawn into it. And so they're now like, okay, how can we go down south and fight those Confederates who killed my uncle, who killed my dad, who killed my brother? And he was actually able to gather support. By the same token, look at the South did. They did too. This is a picture of Atlanta, burning down Atlanta. And this is what the Southern troops would put in their newspaper. See what Abraham Lincoln's doing? He's tearing and burning down your cities. And they too would use it as a rallying point to get people into the cause of the war. And you can see the train is coming. Another cool invention that you talk to your parents about is the what is that thing called? With the Morse code, the telegraph. Abraham Lincoln was the first U.S. president to be able to talk directly to his troops on the battlefield. And this little device here helped him be able. One thing about being president of the United States, and like Donald Trump, you are commander of the military. You get to call the shots of how the military operates. Well, Lincoln used that to his advantage, and he took this device here, and he was able to talk directly to his generals out on the battlefield. He's like, move troops here, move troops there, move troops here, move troops there, that type of thing. And unlike back before, you had to use horse, and they would carry the message. Now you can use these telegraph wires. So he was very good at using that. Also, to get weaponry and supplies, he used the train. He built trains. The Civil War really helped develop the whole train mechanism in the North, and one reason why it was so quickly put down, because when they realized they can get supplies across the North real quickly, it was really a big selling point. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. That's some of the cool stuff that you're going to learn about this week. Go ahead and start studying. We will convene on Tuesday and Wednesday. I can't wait to see you guys again. But this is the video. I do apologize. Thanks again, Annie, for giving me that heads up. That video did not have sound, but now you have it. This is your video that you'll use. I will post this up in Google Classroom. Other than that, I will see you Tuesday. Thank you for coming to Mr. Jackson's history class where the past comes alive. All right. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.